Let me show you that. Let me show you that what the night sky will look like if you go out and tonight at around 8:30 or the 9 and look at the sky. Okay, so this picture it is a sky chart and it shows you the sky as you expected if it is clear tonight, and if you go out at around 8:30 or the 9 itself. So shows you this picture shows you the position of all the bright stars that you expect to see. Okay, so this is a sky chart. It shows the upwards and directions is north is to the left and the west is to the right. And if you go out around and 8:30 to 9 you expect to see the something, so that looks like these. If you go out earlier, then you will not see these parts. They would have just risen. They would have not risen, then these parts would be shifted to the left. That is the rotation of the sky around us. Okay, and if you go later, then these stars would have shifted to the center and these would have shifted out. So I suggest that you go out tonight at around 8:30 to 9 after dinner and have a look at the sky and see if you can compare it with this picture. Okay, so if you can identify these stars on the sky. Okay, so now the ancient people, they looked at the sky and they identified fixed patterns, and these patterns which they identified, these patterns are called constellations. So I have already discussed the first 2 points. The relative positions of the stars are fixed and the whole patterns rotates around us. So we are now discussing this third point, that the ancient people, they identified these patterns in the distribution of the stars in the sky, and these are called constellations. And the constellations that were identified differ from place to place, culture to culture, and essentially, and these constellations that were identified are closely related to the mythology and the people. So the constellations that were identified in India and by the red Indians in America, by the original inhabitants of the American continent, and by the Europeans or the Egyptians, they would be different. They could possibly be different. Some of them may be same, and many of these constellations, the pattern, they are quite obvious, but not all of them. Some of them, they require someone to show you. Okay, so somebody really imaginative must have identified that this looks like this. Okay, so the definition of the constellation also changed from the time in the scene, in the sense that what say people 1,000 years ago defined as a constellation, possibly 500 years ago people redefined them. And in 1929 the International Astronomical Union, the EU, fixed the 88 official constellations. So all the stars in the sky were divided into 88 official constellations. So these are now officially accepted as defined by the International Astronomical Union. So they have identified 88 constellations. The boundaries have become fixed, and every star now belongs to some constellations and or the others. So it is covers the entire sky. Okay, and there are 88 of them. So if you wish, you can look at the names of these constellations. They are available.